Hello everyone, and welcome to our lunch break for today. Super excited to bring you some fun things. So today we're going to be looking at a card layout, and we'll be making multiple cards using that same card layout. And I'll pull that in just a minute. But I'm also going to focus on my color challenge. So I posted this out on Facebook as well, but this is a color challenge I presented to my Ink Trails team for October. And the goal is they make a project using these three colors, whether it's cardstock or designer series paper or ink or whatever. They somehow incorporate all three colors into their project. So I thought, oh, well, what a good way to do this. I will do it on our lunch break today. So let's go ahead, and I wanted to coordinate it with the card sketch. So let me just bring up my comments here, and if you're joining, please let me know where you're from, what you're having for lunch, and just let me know that you're there. I like to make sure that I'm live and people can actually see me. So all right, so our card sketch was this. So I have just a piece of 8.5 by 5.5. I folded it at 4 1/4. I then have a couple different pieces of punched items. Now, whether they're a circle die or a punch, doesn't matter. I actually use a decorative circle punch to make this shape. And then I have a piece of white. And, oh, I'm missing a small piece. Let me just get that out. And this one looks like it's big enough. Another piece of basic white. So let's go ahead and start on our first project. So I'm going to just move these pieces aside here. And again, the three colors I'm using is Starry Sky, Balmy Blue, and Parakeet Party. I'm really just focusing on my paper. All right, so we're going to pull in our gnome dies. And if you didn't know, I do have this as my studio card club this month. It is Stampin' with my Gnomies. So I will put a link in the comments here, and you can hop over to my website and get more information on that. Yeah, just need to get my little pieces here for his face and everything. Oh, excuse me. And just need an extra scrap piece of paper here. So I've got some scraps here, and we're going to run this through our mini die cut machine. So let me pull that up. Go. And let's get cutting our pieces so we can get this card cranked out. Now, I do have a stepped up version of this. I'll show you right after we make this one. And I also will have a second card that we're going to use. We're going to swap out the colors, but still use the same thought process with all of it. So let me just get my next thing going here. And I just need a small little piece of petal pink just for his nose. And I actually have that piece already cut. Okay, so I'm just going to run this through my little machine here. So I'll just send that right through. Okay. There we go. And we've got our different pieces here. So I've already done some of this ahead of time. So I'm just going to pull in those pieces I have already done for us. So let me just move this out of the way. I love these little feet. Aren't they cute? So here's our little feet. Here's our beard. Here's our hat. Here's our nose. And this is all part of those dies. So let me just put that right back in its little home here so I know where they are. Okay. All right, so we have our Starry Sky card base. I have a piece of basic white, and this piece I actually didn't even measure. I just grabbed a scrap out of my bin, but I'll measure it right now for you. It is 2 inches by 3 3/4. So 2 by 3 3/4. Okay, it doesn't matter what size you use. It's just really for the whole layout. Okay. Hello, Diane. Hello, Becky. Hello, Beth. Hello, Barbara. I then have my other multiple pieces here. So I have a piece of Parakeet Party, and this is just a 2.5 inch circle. I have my Starry Sky decorative circle, and I have my Balmy Blue decorative circle. I could have used all the same, or I can mix them up. So if I wanted to, let's see if I have another one already punched out. I don't think I do. So we're just going to go with these. Actually, I do have one. So we'll go with kind of this design right here. Okay, so you can switch out whatever punch pieces that you have. We'll start with this one. I'll move this all aside. I can go ahead and adhere this right on right now. So let's go ahead and do that piece. I'm going to grab my liquid glue. And so there's not really much stamping on here other than the sentiment that we're going to be using. I'm just overlapping these pieces. I don't really have a plan of action on here. I'm just putting them on. This is kind of where you just let your creative juices flow and you just go with it. There's no right or wrong to this card. Okay, so now I'm going to take all my little pieces here that I have. Now, I've cut quite a few. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to mix and match some of these things up. So I'm going to take my little beard here, and what I want to do is bring in my silicone mat because I need to put some liquid glue around the edges of things. So I'm going to take my liquid glue here, and I'm going to do my nose first. Now there is a little, you can see it embossed there. There's a little area for your nose to go, so you can see where that is. If you don't have colored cardstock, go ahead and use a blend or a marker. And then we're going to take our little hat here, and I'm just going to put some adhesive right along the bottom just to kind of get it going here. We're going to use dimensionals on this guy. So, oh, I didn't want to use the blue, but I don't want to use that color. Hold on. I'm going to switch the colors out. I'm going to use the green instead. Yeah, we'll use the green. The reason I switched that blue and the green is because I know it's going to go right on this circle. So the blue hat with the blue circle wasn't going to go well. All right. Then we'll take his little pair of pants, his little bottoms, and just put a little bit of adhesive right at the top. I'll lift this up and set that down. I'll give it a press there. And that's the reason I have the silicone mat here. So I can press this all down. And if there was any glue that kind of oozed out, it's going to be on my silicone mat. Then I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. So let's grab our sheet of dimensionals here. And go ahead and do that. Okay, oops. I picked up my little guy when I was doing that. All right, so now I'm just going to put him on. Oh, well, I should have planned that better as well. Okay, well, he's just going with the blue there. Because I wanted to actually, hold on. I switched up from my original project, so that's why I'm kind of thrown off there. Okay, let's just put his blue pants on. I meant to grab this one. And again, I'm just changing that up because of what circles is going to be beneath my little image here. All right, so we're all good in the hood, right? Okay, so I'll just put that right there. All right, looking cute so far, right? Okay, now I'm going to come back in. I'm going to grab my little 3/4 inch strip here, and it's as long as your sentiment is. So I am actually going to grab my go-to greetings, and I'm going to stamp happy birthday. So this gnome can be used for any time during the year. It doesn't have to be Christmas. It doesn't have to be summer. It can be any time. And that's what I love about my go-to greeting stamp set here is it's very versatile, and I can use it all year long. I love being able to, when I get a stamp set, to use it for more than just one particular season or reason. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right on there, just like that. We'll go ahead and clean that stamp off, and that is pretty much it for stamping. So I didn't need a lot of colors with this one. The next project will need a little bit more. All right, and you can put it up on top, you can put it on the bottom. It is wherever your heart's content is. I think I'm going to put it right there, and we're going to use our dimensionals again. And notice, I didn't grab a lot of dies other than our gnomes, so I don't have to have a lot of pieces here. Kind of keeping it a little simpler. And because I am actually putting this on top of the gnome that was punched up, well, popped up before, I need to have a second dimensional behind the top, behind that side. So one dimensional on this side, two on that side. So now let's just step up our card just a tad more. And I want to add some embellishments. Here we go. So we have our adhesive back stars. Love these things. And I'm going to go ahead and just put some stars randomly on his little hat here. And we'll put one down here too. Oh, where'd it go? Right here. Okay. And notice these are iridescent, so they kind of take a little bit of shading from whatever they're reflecting on. And then we'll grab some of the larger ones here and put a couple around our card. And we'll get one more, I think, right over here. There we go. Right. So I know I use an even number there. I got to have one more. Doop. All right. So now with this card, I decided to take it a little step further, and I'll show you this with how I did it in the next card. I added my Timbers embossing folder, and I swapped out my basic white here for a basic white stitch rectangle. And so really that's all the difference. Look at what a difference that makes just by adding a little bit of texture back there. Okay, our next card. Let me put these away. So I told you we're going to do 2 cards, 1 layout. So on this one, this is my Tahitian Tide measured at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to show you how you can actually get that embossed front. So here is my cardstock. I'm going to bring in my larger die cut machine this time, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using our whimsical trees. What is this called? Our whimsical woodland embossing folder. Isn't that cool? So what I need to do, open this up, and I'm going to just turn this so you can see how I'm running this through. Let's just zoom out a little bit while I'm doing this piece. So I've got my base plate, and then I've got my embossing folder, and I've got my cardstock. So one of the things that you want to do is feel which way your embossing is going. So if you want the raised images to be on the outside of your card, you'll need to flip this around. So I had the little Stampin' Up! Logo on the back. Then I'm going to insert my card front up to my score line. So I have my score line there. And I'm going to go right to the edge of that embossing folder. I'm going to put that down. My hinge side is going into my machine. And I'll put my plate 4 in here. And we'll go ahead and run that through. You're going to hear a loud clunk when it gets to the end. That's fine. So this is a 3D embossing folder. It really adds a lot of depth and dimension. So here is the one side, here is the other side. Again, when you're running it through, just figure out what side you want. To me, it doesn't matter. So whatever side it ended up on, where my score line is whatever it's going to be. Okay, so now this time I've decided to do 3 different colors. So I grabbed in Tahitian Tide, my Sweet Sorbet, and my Pacific Point. So again, I did the same things. I don't know why I punched those too many times. We'll have to punch out some other ones. All right, so I have my circle and my decorative circle, my circle and my decorative circle. And from this one, I'm just going to go ahead and use the circle punch right now. I'm going to go ahead and punch a circle. Now, we don't sell the circle punches anymore, so if you don't have them, you probably have to get them from somewhere else or use the layering circle dies. And then this one. And we do have this one in stock. Okay. All right, so now we have all our pieces just like that. I'm going to move my little tags off to the side here because I don't need those right now. I'm going to move these over. And now this time, I'm going to bring in a different stamp set. As promised, I told you I'd use multiple stamp sets. We're going to be using Snowman Magic. Now you can cut things out or you can die cut things out. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to use the dies because there's some small little pieces and I don't want to sit there cutting out this little hat and this little bunny. So I'm going to pull out my dies. So I've got my little snowman, I've got my little bunny, and I got this cute little hat. And I think that's all I need. Yep. Okay. And I'm going to be stamping a lot now. So what I need to do here is decide what I want to have on my background. And I know why I had that green out, but we're going to have to change it up. So bear with me while I change things up here. I need a scallop rectangle here. So here, I don't want that one. I want this one right here. And this is from the scallop contour die. So I'm going to put that in back. I'm going to tuck my little circle here. And we're going to go ahead and put our blue right here. And we'll grab, you know what? Where did I use my first card? Did I use all the... I don't remember what I used. Okay. And we'll grab... There we go. I was trying to find the right circle. Oh, I'm going to go this way. There we go. That's what I want to see. Okay. And just maneuver that around. So I want to give this a little bit something more. So let's zoom in again a little bit. I'm going to pull in a piece of scrap paper here. And I'm going to do some stamping. So we're going to grab our Sweet Sorbet stamp pad and our Pacific Point stamp pad. And Tahitian Tide, we're not going to worry about. So I've got these. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Okay. And I want to use, first things first, I need to get my stamp set out. And I'm pulling my small little block here, and I'm going to grab the little hearts. So I'm going to start with that. Put that right on my block. I'm going to grab my Sweet Sorbet, and I am just going to randomly stamp hearts all over my circle. Trying not to go in any particular order. Trying not to get them all lined up. Just random. Okay, that looks to be enough. I always say if you feel like you need one more, just stop. Don't do one more, just stop. Because if you do one, you're going to want to do 2 or 3. Just saying, it's like potato chips. All right. Now we'll put this little guy away. And I have to share with you, I am thoroughly amazed at myself that I actually haven't lost a stamp from this stamp set yet. Because we all know that I lose tiny stamps. Haven't lost it yet, so knock on wood. I'm going to grab this little tree image here. And we're going to go ahead and bring in our Pacific Point. And I'm going to just stamp some trees all over my circle. Just like that. Excuse me. All right, we'll put that one away. All right. Getting ink all over myself. So you can see just by changing it up, adding a little stamping, it'll change your card up. And now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take my piece of scrap basic white here. And I am just going to stamp a couple images. And I've actually done a little bit of that ahead of time. So I will get those out in just a moment. I dropped one of them, I think. Well, it's a good thing I'm stamping one so I can show you. Oh, here it is. All right. So I actually have those two cut out and this cut out. But I'll show you how I stamped them. So I went ahead and I grabbed my little snowman here. I grabbed my Memento Black. You can use Stays On. I just happen to use Memento because it's right here on my desk. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp 2 snowmen right away. While I have that out, I might as well stamp my bunny. So grab the bunny. Put the bunny right over here. And now I want to grab my little hat. So So I have my handy dandy little hat here, and I have this handy dandy little bow tie. Before I do that, I actually want to put some faces on my snowman. So I'm grabbing a little face. And I'll grab the other little face. Now one face has open eyes and the other one has closed eyes. I haven't decided if I like the closed eye one yet or not. I don't know why. It just, I don't know. doesn't sit well with me. Okay, I'm going to take my little bow tie right here. And I'm going to bring back in a couple different stamp pads. So I want my Sweet Sorbet. And I'm going to stamp a hat. Right. Then I'm going to take my Pacific Point and stamp a hat. And that might not work well. So we might just switch that out with Tahitian Tide. And I'll show you why I'm thinking it's not going to work well as soon as I get this stamped. Okay. And there's my Tahitian Tide. All right. Now that I got that stamped, I can come back in with my little bow tie here. So normally the bow tie would go right on your snowman, right? Now we're going to mix it up. We're going to put our Pacific Point in. And I am just going to look through the stamp and stamp it right on my hat. Again, look through the stamp it right on my hat. Isn't that cute? Now, because this color is so dark, I don't think either one of those will show up on here. So I'm just going to use those two hats. Just like that. Oh, I gotta stop sticking my fingers in my ink pad. Okay. We'll bring in the die cut machine. We'll run this through the die cut machine, and then we'll get to assembling our card. So I'm actually going to do just the little hat because I already have the snowman already done. Trying to save a little time on the video. But I do need to change up the colors on the hat. I didn't have those done. All right. So now, you know how that bow on that little bow tie stuck out past the hat? I don't have to worry about it because when I run it through the die cut machine, it's going to cut off that extra. So I don't have to worry. Now, if you don't have a die cut machine, then you'll have to fussy cut it out. Sorry about your luck. I'm kidding. But yeah, you'd have to fussy cut these out. Or just stamp it on a white circle and call it a day. You know, instead of having that Tahitian Tide right here, just leave it blank and just use these two right here and here. Sorry, these two right here and here, and just stamp your snowman right there. Now you could change it and put it at this side, this way too, depending on which way you've actually embossed your card front. All right, so now we've got our other little thing right there. And we're going to go ahead and bring in our pieces again. So here is our white. Here were our trees. I can stick the trees in back if I wanted and have my little hearts in front. Totally up to you which way you want to go with that. So I do want to actually put my... and I think I'm going to go like that. So I'm going to have one here. I'm going to have one here. And I'm going to have my little bunny right between the two of them. And I just got blue all over my bunny. We're going to be putting our little hats on. Okay, so let's get to assembling these pieces down before I get more ink all over the place. All right, did I zoom out better now? Okay. So go ahead and... So did you all take advantage of the free shipping yesterday? I hope you did. Those of you that emailed or called me with your order is in. Got it in time for you. You are all set. And as soon as it comes in, I will give you a call. Those of you that put it online, thank you very much for using the host code. That's very helpful for me. It allows me to bring you more videos. It allows me to purchase the products I need to do the videos. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and join our Facebook group. Share it with your friends. I'd love to see them. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pop up our little snowman here. Now, what I really need to do for my snowman is I really need to put my dimensional like this so that I can bring in my little hat. Where did my hat go? And adhere it on so I don't have to worry about doing that. Okay, it's like this one. I'm going to just lift that dimensional up. Put it towards the top. I can adhere my little hat there now, her little bonnet. So you can make them 2 girls, 2 boys, little girl, little boy, whatever you want to make them. So we're going to put her right here. We're going to put this one right over here. And we'll have our little bunny right here. So our bunny, I am going to use a, really mad at myself on that one. All right, I'm cutting that other one out because I don't want to have a blue bunny on my card. So let's just bring this back in real quick. Good thing I have it stamped and ready to go. So I do like to almost always, I stamp twice what I need. That way, if I make a mistake, I have an extra. All right. And cruising through here today. We've got our little bunny on. And I'm going to go ahead and just use another dimensional here. Right in the middle of my bunny. All right. Just like that. Now let's get a sentiment on here. This time what I did for my sentiment, instead of just taking a strip of white, I went ahead and I die cut a banner from our Stylish Shapes, but there are so many other dies that you could use for your banners. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp, let's see, let's do something else besides happy birthday. How about we do thank you? Oh, actually, you know what? Thinking of you is really cute. We'll do that one. Thinking of you. Where is it? Thinking of you. And that will, ooh, that is just going to fit on here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my block here. And now you just have to figure out what color do you want to stamp with. I'm going to go ahead and stamp with the blue. Just so I can get more Pacific Point on my hand. Oh. That didn't want to play nice. Sorry. I pressed too hard. Gotta tap lightly. So I had a big smeary image. All right. No smearing. Smear, whatever. Okay, and we'll put that right on there, and we'll use, again, dimensionals. And this time, I'm going to change up my embellishment to use our Fine Sparkle adhesives. This is one of the embellishments that you will be getting in the Studio Card Club. If you purchase this month's card club, you can either do a 1 month or you can do a subscription, totally up to you. You can buy it as like a standalone class. Again, I'll put the links in the comments and in the description of the video. So I'm going to upload this to YouTube as soon as I can. So let's go ahead and take just a couple different ones here. So we'll do a red one right there, and we'll do a, well, let's see. I don't like the blue down there. I think I'll just do a blue one right here. And then we'll do this lighter one down here. There. I feel like I need more. So I'm going with it. I'm going with more. I'm going to put one up here. And then I'll put another one down over here. There we go. I like that much better. All right. So that is it for today's cards. I hope you enjoyed these. So one layout, 2 different cards. Let me bring them back in. So here is the stepped up version with the embossing folder. And then here's my original. So I hope you enjoyed these. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your lunch break. I know I was a little bit late today. Couldn't help it. Had a meeting that got scheduled at the last minute. So, yep. All right. Take care. And I will have all this information posted shortly on the website and up to YouTube. Thanks for the love. Appreciate it. Take care.